What's up everybody, Frangrams here, and today I'm going to be talking about an image that I think is pretty exciting. It's been floating around Twitter for a while now. It's this image of a notebook page with what looks like unused Pikmin concept art. It's been on the internet for a while now. I don't see many people talk about it, but if you want to know like the validity of this and whether it's legit or not, I truly believe it is, specifically because I saw this one guy's video, Vantage Emblem. I recommend you go watch it. He talks about this page and why he believes it's real, why it would be weird for somebody to fake something like this. He goes into detail, so yeah, I recommend that video of his. But for my video, I'm just going to talk about basically my thoughts on each of these little new Pikmin that I haven't seen before and how exciting it is to even think about the possibility like that these could come in Pikmin 4, or like certain mechanics from this page could be shown in Pikmin 4. So let's get into it, shall we? Up first, we're going to talk about the light blue or the Cyan Pikmin. We have descriptions for some of them, well, translations for the little, like, for the dialogue that's next to these Pikmin. So for the Cyan one, we have, it moves slowly and it restores buildings with mucus. I mean, it really does look like it restores buildings with mucus. It looks like a walking booger or something, you know, slimy. Well, I think it's a really cute design. It is right up Pikmin's alley, and at the same time it's so different, right? Because it doesn't look solid. It's like gooey. So yeah, it's a really hard-hitting commentary here. But yeah, as far as the possibility of this guy arriving in Pikmin 4, I think not so much, because we already have the wing Pikmin that help restore, like, or at least they help build hills for other Pikmin to walk on, like to get to upper levels. But I guess it would help to have Pikmin that help restore buildings. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if this design was in the game, but I'm just thinking about like the actual utility of them and whether we need something that fixes buildings, because that's all Pikmin do in these games is break down bridges or break down walls or build bridges. So yeah, let's head on to the next unused concept art, shall we? We have green Pikmin here. Apparently, you can connect them to form a bridge, they are parasitic, and they are good at farming. Okay, a couple things here. So, connecting them together to form a bridge. Once again, I don't think that's really necessary in the Pikmin world. I mean, we already have the materials for bridges. It would be weird to use the Pikmin as a bridge, so would you call them back after you've crossed over them? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they're parasitic, apparently. That's really interesting, right? Because they could probably take over enemies, mind control some enemies. That would be really cool. Reminds me of The Last of Us with the fungus, if you know what I'm talking about. Or it also does farming. I mean, the design, I guess, lends itself to go into small spaces, but like farming, I wonder what that's all about. Maybe farming for treasures, obviously, or pellets, stuff like that. But yeah, the most interesting aspect here from the green Pikmin are the fact that they're apparently parasitic. So that seems like an interesting gameplay element that could come in Pikmin 4, like just being parasites. Because I mean, they're Pikmin, for God's sake. They're so small, they could take over anything. Alright, so now let's go over to the Carapace Pikmin. No description on this little guy, but he looks really interesting. If I were to guess, like, this guy looks like he can't be crushed, or that little head of his really helps him in terms of like being defensive. Maybe he defends other Pikmin, like if he's in front of the other Pikmin, like he just uses his head as a shield, or he defends the Pikmin from like falling rocks from the sky. But he would have to be pretty big for that. It looks like he's just an umbrella, so. But I think it's one of the more unique looking ones on this picture. It's just, well, that was one along with the Cyan Pikmin. But yeah, this one's really cool looking, but I'm trying to think, would this make a comeback in Pikmin 4? Like, not comeback, but would it make its big reveal in Pikmin 4? I don't think so. I feel like the design is too complex. It's not as like simple as like the Cyan Pikmin or the green Pikmin. Like, you gotta, I guess, walk a fine line between making the Pikmin stand out like in its design and also make it, because can you imagine 100 of these guys running around? You get what I'm saying? Like, it would look weird to have 100 Carapace Pikmin walking around. They're just so, I don't know, they take up a lot of space with that head of theirs. So yeah, if Nintendo were to use any of these so far, I believe the Cyan one would be awesome. But I never thought about that. You gotta imagine 100 of this Pikmin type walking around in your world and how that would look in the game. So yeah, probably the Cyan Pikmin, or most likely the green Pikmin so far look like they would be more suitable to have 100 of them on the field. Alright, now let's go over to the black Pikmin. Apparently, it's a species that have evolved to adapt to cold climates. Alright, so this is really interesting. The black Pikmin, as far as design goes, he looks way too much like the rock Pikmin. I would not want this guy making its debut in Pikmin 4 if they decided to. It's just, like I said, he looks way too much like the rock Pikmin design. I'm not really that intrigued by it. He maybe looks like half of a purple Pikmin too. I mean, sure, he's fuzzy and all, but I don't know. It doesn't justify taking up a whole slot for a new Pikmin, just having a fuzzy ball Pikmin. But what I do think is interesting is that this species has adapted to cold climates. As far as I can remember, no Pikmin games have like the weather really affected like the Pikmin, right? Sure, some Pikmin gotta go into the water or they can't go through fire or electricity, but as far as weather goes, that's never been an issue in the Pikmin games. So to think that Nintendo thought about like having a Pikmin that could adapt to cold climates, that might mean that maybe in Pikmin 4 they could look into, I don't know, maybe a sort of Breath of the Wild situation where you need a certain type of Pikmin or a certain type of armor or something to protect you from the weather. You can't go into certain cold areas unless you have these Pikmin. But yeah, that would also be kind of weird, having only areas where only the black Pikmin could go into them. They would have to be smaller areas because, I mean, you want to be able to take your Pikmin anywhere, right? So yeah, that is a really interesting idea though, having the climate affect what Pikmin could like go into a certain area or not. So alright, so that was the black Pikmin. Now we have one of my favorites. It might be my actual favorite though. It's the brown Pikmin. It has a large body. It is strong. I mean, so far it's just like another purple Pikmin, right? But it is difficult to increase. It takes 10 pellets to make one seed, and the speed of construction is fast. Okay. So what I'm getting from this is basically it's an OP Pikmin, right? It's like a purple Pikmin on steroids. It looks huge. Once again, that goes back to my problem with, can you have 100 of these guys on the field? Maybe not, I don't know. But what I think is really interesting here is the fact that it could take 10 pellets to make one seed. Just, that's such an interesting concept because it would make so much sense to like have an OP Pikmin hidden behind this barrier of you need 10 pellets to make one of these guys. You gotta make it worth it, right? That's it's a cool concept. It reminds me a bit of Pikmin Bloom. I think, I haven't played it a lot, but I think in Pikmin Bloom it takes forever to grow a Pikmin or something like that. So this might be like that, where it's just, you gotta be patient and get enough seeds if you really want just one of these guys. And by the looks of him, it would be worth it. I mean, apparently he's speedy in construction, he's strong, and he has a large body, so it's just, like I said, I love the design. Sure, he looks like a purple Pikmin, so I don't think maybe the design would fit that much. But he's furry. I mean, it's the brown furry Pikmin. He looks like a Muppet, damn it. So yeah, that's the big old brown Pikmin. Now, up last we have the pink Pikmin. This one has a small body, is able to stick to the wall and walk, and it is not strong. They don't attach themselves to their enemies, and it's easy to make a lot of seeds. Okay. As far as design goes, I am not a fan. I mean, sure, he's cute to look at, but he's not. It's not interesting at all to look at this Pikmin. It's just a little, like, it looks like a seed. It doesn't even look like a Pikmin. It looks like a Pikmin seed that hasn't been plucked yet or something, or grown. And why would you want a smaller Pikmin? Like, because I would assume this guy would be smaller than the average Pikmin. And I don't think that would be a lot of, like, fun to look at. I don't think you could even keep track of all of them if they were in a Pikmin game. So yeah, when Pikmin 4 is released, I better not see these little pink Pikmin in them. And I guess they're able to stick to the wall and walk. So they're like spider Pikmin. So that is interesting, but once again, I feel like the flying Pikmin, they could get stuff that's from the wall, they could get stuff that's higher up, so why would you need Pikmin that could walk on the wall? Would our captains be able to walk on the wall in Pikmin 4? I don't know, I don't think so. It's a bit too Mario Galaxy for me, but yeah, so pink Pikmin, I hope you stay as, I don't know, unused concept art. Sorry, not sorry. Now, that was it for all these little new Pikmin designs that we haven't seen yet. Now it's time to see a couple of things that like they're more game mechanics based, and I think it's really cool to watch. For example, we have this image here of a ghost Pikmin looking up at an onion on top of a stem. Okay, so this, I don't think this is just Nintendo like putting down, oh look, when Pikmin die they turn into ghosts, because we've been known that, right? I mean, not ghosts, but like their souls go up. But this looks like an actual ghost Pikmin that could wander around, and it's looking up at this pellet. My theory here is maybe this ghost Pikmin, you have a chance when your Pikmin die to revive them. This looks like you could like revive any lost souls if you go to this onion. That would be my theory. And when you attach them to that onion, maybe they go inside and they sprout back out, and boom, your Pikmin are alive again. And I know it's a weird theory because you could just grow more Pikmin. Why go through the trouble of actually like finding one of these specific onions and like, I'm calling them onions, I don't know what they are. Finding one of these specific looking like plants just to revive your fallen Pikmin. Like, just plant more. And to that I say, hey, that's the only theory that I could come up with in my head. It's probably something else, but yeah. Now, onto another image. We have this image here of a bunch of ghost Pikmin following your captain. That looks like Olimar. It's like, I don't know who that could be, but yeah. So, that also just lends me to believe that in Pikmin 4, maybe we could have ghost Pikmin follow you around. But what is their purpose, right? Like, this is one of the most mysterious things from this notebook. Like, apart from like the unused Pikmin concept art, it's just, there's two separate occasions where the ghost Pikmin are featured. This looks like a pretty big like mechanic, and I don't know. I feel like I said, what could they do? Why not just make more Pikmin? Why do we want their ghosts floating around? Yeah, it's just, although it's an interesting thing to look at, I don't think it could work like in an actual Pikmin game. Pikmin 4, you know? Alright, on to the last image that I'm going to talk about from this notebook. It's so cool. It's the return of the Bulbman. This guy looks huge though. It's a big bulb orb with a leaf on its head. It's a Bulbman, damn it. And you see a bunch of Pikmin on its back. So I've seen some people claim that maybe it's like the Pikmin are like mind controlling the bulb orb and like, you know, like making it traverse and like follow your captain everywhere. But I think that this bulb orb, this Bulbman, is on your team and it's helping these Pikmin cross the water. This is something I can actually see happening in Pikmin 4. Maybe instead of having new Pikmin types, which I'm sure we will have some, it would be so cool if you could have the Bulbman back, because I mean it's already a well-known design, right? Like the bulb orbs. Why not just slap a leaf on it, make it a big Bulbman, and make it so that Pikmin could hop on it and just like traverse like lands that they can't traverse on their own. Sure, blue Pikmin could ride the water, but not yellow or red Pikmin. They would have to get on the Bulbman. It's so cool. Like, it's just like a little helper that just helps carry your Pikmin around, or it's just a big guy. And so, once again, with the little like how this would work in game, I feel like maybe this Bulbman would be stuck to certain areas. Maybe you wouldn't be able to like farm them, or I don't know, have a bunch of them like grow out of the ground from onions. Maybe you just like randomly spot one and that's when you could use them because they're friendly, something like that. Once again, I don't see you being able to like hoard up on a bunch of Bulbman like this. That would seem pretty OP'd and game breaking. So yeah, hopefully we see just one of these things in Pikmin 4. If not, I can't imagine Nintendo being so creative to like come up with a whole different set of Pikmin concept art. I'm just kidding. I mean, it's Nintendo. They're really creative. But yeah, well, it was exciting to talk about these little images. I hope you guys are excited about them too, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to making some more Pikmin 4 videos, or just any Pikmin videos in general. That's all I do on this channel. So yeah, make sure to sub, guys. Have a good one.